Jesus Christ. Like, I was about to peacefully browse the internet for some news, only to be encountered with the most fucked up and the most fucked up news. I'm starting to get really sick and tired of people virtue signaling of how lolis are harmful to the society. For all of you people who are gonna virtue signal how much of a better person you are by saying that drawings of fictional characters are immoral, well, do you want an actual, real harm to society? Let me give you this. University academics say pedophilia is natural and normal for males to be aroused by children. University academics. University academics. You fucking pieces of shit. To think that you can advocate for pedophilia with a straight face and say that it's fucking natural for males to be sexually aroused by children, fuck you. Fuck you. That's the only appropriate response that I can give. Fuck anybody who is advocating for this. You selfish motherfuckers. That's what you are. A bunch of selfish motherfuckers who only care about their sexuality and how to satisfy it. You know, in my country, we have issues with people who are LGBT. People who are coming out and got discriminated against in their workplace for being LGBT to the point where they got fired for it. You're the sorts of people that shat on these people and undermine whatever they're struggling. You're the sorts of people that make the ultra-religious conservatives right about something. They always constantly say that fighting for the LGBT cause might lead into pedophilia. After seeing all of this shit, oh boy, they were right. And I hate to say that. I really hate to say that, but this was gone to the point of absolute insanity. To the point where you can make fucking caricatures like Momoko to be right about something.
You see, the internet was a blessing from the Lord Jesus to spread the word of God throughout the world. But pedophiles and Muslims stole it and used its holy power to seduce children like yourself into spam. Not get out, get saved.
An academic conference is held at the University of Cambridge said that pedophilia interest is natural and normal for males, and that at least a sizable minority of normal males would like to have sex with children, and normal males are aroused by children. Fucking... Ugh, just... Why do you say all of these? Why do you say all of these? Why are these information necessary to utter? What are your gains from this? If I say that lolis are harmless, my gain is for people to know that lolis are harmless. And fictional drawings shouldn't be conflated with pedophilia because they don't cause the same impact. They don't actually harm real children. You're arguing that it's natural and normal for males and that a sizable minority of normal males would like to have sex with children? You fucking cretins. These sentiments were discussed at a conference that took place last year to discuss the classification of sexuality in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the standard international psychiatric manual used by the legal system. The conference, which was titled Classifying Sex, Debating DSM-5, had featured a number of speakers who spoke in favor of sex with children, which, in essence, is supporting pedophilia. Well, at least they're correct to establish that this is a fucking mental disorder. And yes, pedophilia should be classified as a mental disorder. It causes nothing but damage to society and everyone else around, including the children. Can you please, for the love of God, tell me, how is pedophilia not damaging children? And how in the name of God are they going to be beneficial for the children's life? The reason why I call you selfish motherfuckers is because the only partner who is definitely satisfied on this interaction is the adult, not the children, definitely not the parents, but the pedo and the pedo alone. The ultimate foundation of having a relationship is to have two consenting partners to benefit each other, whether it be emotionally or financially. It's a mutualistic relationship. Pedophilia is a parasitic relationship. Only one party benefits from it, and that's definitely not the child. The American Psychiatric Association, APA, which produces it, had been locked in battle over whether hebephilia should be included as a disorder. Hebephilia is the sexual preference for children in early puberty, typically 11 to 14 years old. The proposal was being discussed because children are going through puberty at a younger age, and the current definition of pedophilia is attraction to prepubescent children. Hebephilia, on the other hand, is indeed a gray area. Yes, every teenager went to puberty, and they also went through a phase in which they have attraction to one another at around 11 to 14 or 15 or 16. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. I went through that phase. Everybody in middle school or high school went through that phase. I have more concerns about adults who have attraction towards teenagers on that age. I'm fine when both partners are teenagers because that was still the time when they're trying to experiment with their sexuality and understanding it. But adults are definitely more mature. They have a lot more understanding about sexuality than the teenagers were at that age. My concerns mostly came from how adults can manipulate these teenagers into thinking that certain lewd behaviors or actions are okay, and all for the sake of the adults' benefits. Sure, some teenagers might have more mature and developed brains that can understand that certain actions are reprehensible, but not all teenagers get that privilege. It's still a hugely gray area. If the relationship is between an adult and a teenager, it still poses questions of whether or not these teenagers are mature enough for a relationship. Chances are they still aren't, and that's what scares me. I don't know. Maybe you guys can leave comments on what you think of this. But if there's one thing that we can all agree on is that pedophilia is wrong. And anybody who commits on this should be severely punished.
One of the attendees and enthusiastic participant was Tom O'Carroll, a multiple child sex offender and longtime campaigner for the legalization of sex with children and former head of the Pedophile Information Exchange. Wonderful, he wrote on his blog afterwards. It was a rare few days when I could feel relatively popular.
I got nothing. I got nothing. What am I supposed to say on that? That's fucking creepy. And that's the scariest part of this entire thing. This act of normalizing actual relationship with children is just built on the underlying theme of selfishness. Look, the LGBT community have legitimate reasons on why they're fighting for their rights to be at least not discriminated against. They're telling people to leave their sexuality alone, and it doesn't have a huge impact on whatever they are. It's just their preference of whether they want to stick their dicks or vaginas out. The ultra-religious conservatives are of course heavily opposed to this, as they would. They say that it's immoral and ungodly and sinful, citing the verses in their respective holy books to tell people of how it's immoral and sinful. When you're living in an ultra-religious conservative place and you're being discriminated against for being LGBT, I completely understand your struggle, and I heavily disagree with the ultra-religious conservatives when they say, oh, it's gonna cause pedophilia. But fucking hell, guys, way to prove them right. And the scariest part is that this isn't the first time I talked about this. I've talked about this so many times before of how the people in the higher ups are committing pedophilia and also normalizing pedophilia. Twitter suspends a user exposing 20,000 accounts that are linked to child porn. Someone in Germany got jailed for criticizing child marriage, and child marriage in Germany is pretty much legal. And to think that only men does this sort of thing? Good God, have you seen the amount of cases of women babysitters that turns out to be pedophiles? And I don't understand how I should tolerate these people, and why should I tolerate these people? The LGBT community doesn't harm anyone. Consenting adults are involved in there. Adults who can think of themselves and have matured on their sexuality. What you do with your dick, whether you stick it in someone's ass or a fleshlight, it's not my business. And it shouldn't be the business of anyone else, including the ultra-religious moral guardians who only seek to control people's personal choice and freedom. However, it is my business by the time you decided that children are acceptable targets to stick your goddamn dick at. And again, why should I tolerate you? And why are you complaining about this? What is your motive? What is your endgame? Do you want child marriage to be legalized? If you're asking me to tolerate you... Sorry, what? You want me to tolerate someone who have the desire to fuck real-life children? No, I would look at you with a huge contempt. And if you have zero idea why, and a lot of other people do, you are fucked. My simple suggestion is to just get some help and stop normalizing this behavior. Don't shove this on my face and tell me that this is what's normal. Sorry, but if it's damaging to real-life people, I am going to criticize it. And if it's damaging children, all bets are fucking off. Before we end this sickening video, we're gonna move to another equally depressing topic. There's something else that I want to talk about, and this is important, so please stop playing Overwatch in the background or something and hear me out on this. This guy over here, this is RIZZY. He's a not safe for work artist and animation teacher who is gay and unfortunately is living in an ultra-religious conservative country such as Indonesia. He recently got fired from his job thanks to his coworker outing him from being gay, and he got his savings taken out from him. He has no LGBT agenda to push. All he wants to do is to help his mother out. Thankfully, we don't have any beheadings punishment here unless you're in Aceh, which begs the question of why you want to actually live there. So we've had DMs and conversations. Thankfully, he's all right now and he's planning to move out to Bali and eventually to Australia, where it is at least a lot more tolerated. I'm encouraging you all, if you have a Twitter account, just go and send him some love. If you can, please donate to him on Patreon and help the guy out. Just $1 is alright. It's extremely valuable here. He's among many others who are being unjustly discriminated against in my country. I really don't want to see unjustified discrimination that ruins people's lives for arbitrary reasons. So if you want to help out, if you can't do it by money, even a couple of words on your tweets help out. Also, huge thanks to Lawrence Culter for the pledge on Patreon. You are fantastic. That's all for the video today. If you like this, you can go ahead, click the like button, and subscribe for more. If you wish, you can support me on Patreon. And thanks for watching.